welcome to the another episode of Manage CIA podcast, where we meet the change maker transforming Indian agriculture with innovation and heart. So today we are joining by the founder of AgrEco, Mr. Himanshu Singh. AgrEco is a dynamic agri-digital platform that empowering farmers, FPOs, and agri stakeholders with data-driven insights, digital marketing access, and sustainability business models. So let's explore how AgrEco is redefining the agri value chain and making technology truly work for farmers with the founder, Mr. Himanshu Singh. So welcome to the episode, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Let's move further. So every great idea begins with a story, right? So can you share what inspired you to start AgrEco, and if you had to sum up in one line, so what is the vision that drives AgrEco?
So it started sometime around 2021. I had been in corporate world for more than 3 decades by then. And we were thinking about that, what are we going to do after 10, 15 years? What are we looking at? That was the starting point, I think. And obviously, there was a bit of my inclination at that point that I would want to do something which makes some impact in someone's life.
Yeah.
Uh, no matter how minuscule that impact is,
Mm-hmm.
but the effort should go in having some positive impact on someone's life. That was the idea that I was having at something which has been playing in my mind for a
Yeah.
while at that point in time. Something of that kind was anyway prevailing all across
Mhm.
us. The environment also was such. So the sector that I was toying with was actually healthcare.
Okay. So.
And when I was having this chat, and particularly this evening tea chat with my wife, she came up like many of you know of our age and at that stage of our professional career, I guess. That let's have a small farm and let's have a farmhouse. We would grow our own vegetables and things like that. So that's what the whole discussion was about. And at that point, she was reading a lot of permaculture, natural farming, and things like those.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know A of agriculture, honestly, and I'm still learning. So she gave me a few books on permaculture and natural farming, not as much about organic. I didn't know the difference between organic and natural and permaculture, but that helped me. So that's the journey started.
Mm-hmm.
And while I was going through all of that, what I realized that the small and marginal farmers in India, their challenges have not changed. You know,
Yes, right.
and the generations have passed by, and the current generation also that is facing the same challenges, perhaps, if not similar challenges as the earlier generations have faced. And also, I found that the use of technology has really not made its way
Mm-hmm.
for addressing challenges in agriculture. And in particular, I would think about countries like ours, where the farmlands is highly fragmented. We have more than 80% farmers who have less than 2 acres of land. So we have large number of small farmers or farmers having small farm holdings.
Mm-hmm.
That started taking home in my mind was how could we bring technology, and more specifically there, how could we bring digital technologies to help farmers? Again, specifically the small and let me say marginal farmers,
Marginal. Yeah, right. So.
and help them to use the technology. By bringing in technology, can we help them to
Mm-hmm.
address those key issues, the key challenges which are there? So that was the starting point, you see, for me to start getting deeply into this sector and start thinking of what are the core issues that we need to really address, which could be considered as the pain points for the farmers, and how could we really bring in technology to address those things. So to your question that how we moved into this particular sector,
Mm-hmm.
that's the story behind. Now, to define AgrEco, so let me just tell you about AgrEco, how the word came about,
Yeah,
the name
yeah,
of the
sure.
company.
Yeah.
Yes, so it has come from agriculture and ecosystem, right?
Yeah,
So therefore,
combining both.
AgrEco
Yeah.
is the name of the company.
Yes.
I think the founding understanding of our,
Mm-hmm.
from our perspective has been that unless we go and see the system play in the agriculture, I don't think we would be really able to address the core challenges of agriculture sector. And I have redefined that. I mean, the way we look at agriculture now, it's actually the agri-food, so we need to go the agriculture and then we need to really get into the food as well.
Right,
So
right.
really want to look at the ecosystem. Perhaps it is becoming larger and bigger than the agri ecosystem alone. It has to bring in the food
Mm.
ecosystem also into it. So it becomes the agri food.
Yeah, yeah.
That's exactly is the domain that we are addressing now. So that's a bit of a pivoting, if you will, after going through a few years into it, where we have understood that it needs to be a combination, or rather, we need to add these two different sectors, which is agriculture and food,
Mm-hmm.
and that we need to therefore look at from the systems perspective would therefore be the agri-food, the sector. That's where we are. So coming back onto the point that you had, how do we define in one sentence about AgrEco? AgrEco is defining new economy of agriculture in India
That's great.
by partnering
Yeah.
and co-creating new supply chains in agri-food ecosystem. And
Mm.
that's what we are doing, right?
Yeah.
And that's where we are focused. Right?
Yes. As you're telling also, like AgrEco connects farmers, buyer, and service provider through a unified digital ecosystem. So could you walk us through how the platform functions?
Yeah, so we have a multi-sided digital platform, and we looked at the different stakeholders in the agri-food ecosystem, right? And we found that our core focus has been on two aspects, right, of the ecosystem. The first one is farmer, right? And by extension of farmer, let's say farmer collectives. So farmer
Mm.
and the farmer collectives, which essentially is the farmer domain, right? The other one is the end consumer, right, of the farm produce, right? And the end consumer, therefore, could again be either an institutional buyer, for example, or it could be the end consumer, the guy who consumes the food when it gets onto the plate of the person and the
Mm-hmm.
person consumes, right? It could be both, it could be either. And it is essentially farmer and the farmer collectives. Or rather, you see the value chain. On the value chain, you look at the different stakeholders. So we got all of them on a single multi-sided digital platform. And there they have different modules for each one of them, but the data
Mm-hmm.
across is the same. So that's what we have created. There's a single platform, which is the AgrEco platform, right? Having a different modules for the different stakeholders of the agri-food ecosystem or agri-food value chain, if you will. Yeah.
So let's talk about your business model. Like, how does AgrEco balance financial sustainability with farmer empowerment?
So look, I mean, for us, the revenue generation actually happens who are consuming the food produce, right? So it essentially gets down to the consumers of the food produce. That's where we get our money from, right?
Mhm.
We do not charge to farmers, you know.
Yeah.
We don't charge anything to them, but we would start charging at some point
Mm-hmm.
to farmer collectives, right?
Mm-hmm.
And which are essentially private limited companies,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I'm mentioning collectives as the farmer producers organization or the farmer producers companies,
Yeah.
which by definition are private limited companies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So their focus again is on revenue generation. Therefore, in addition to the various different services they offer to the farmers. So what we are looking here is to really see our revenue streams coming in from the end, which is going to consume the food produce, not from who's cultivating or bringing the food produce, right? Yeah.
How large is your current network? How many farmers, FPOs, or stakeholders are a part of AgrEco today?
like, every day we are adding up a few of the
Yeah.
farmers, very focused activity that we had. But
Mm-hmm.
if you ask me, as of today, we have more than 11,000 farmers who are registered
Mm-hmm.
on our platform. We have more than 50 FPOs who are registered with us on our platform. A dozen of buyers and suppliers with us, including the institutional buyers. And they keep changing. They are buyers and they are sellers also at times. So, yeah.
So bringing digital solution to agriculture is not easy. So what are some challenges you have faced while onboarding farmers and encouraging digital adoption within them?
Very tough. And it will take time, you see. So I must differentiate here. Look, as far as the understanding of using digital assets are
Mm-hmm.
concerned, or is concerned, farmers or the rural areas youth is as good as the youth in urban areas. They are as good using all these assets and understanding of how to use these assets.
Okay.
But the point here is about the adoption of a new digital tool
Mm-hmm.
in doing business, right? In doing business here, the business means cultivating or in selling their farm produce, right? And that's where it is about the trust and faith. How much can they trust? How much can they put their faith into something which is digital
Right.
and put all what they have really put in their effort into for generating revenues for their families. You
Hmm.
know, this whole fear about that if something goes wrong, who's going to hold my hand? You know, it is all digital. There is no person around there to whom I'm speaking, doing things. How much and how far I can trust it.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I mean, a few things which have happened in India in last 5, 7 years.
Hmm.
The payments, digital payments have become, pretty common. People are using this different kind of payment, applications for making the payments. People are becoming very familiar in terms of buying things from Amazon, from Flipkart.
Yeah. Nowadays it is like quite easy.
Yeah, one would assume that the things would progress that way, but it's a matter of new kind of a behavior, of a new kind of a way of doing things. And as if we have been doing certain things in a certain way uh,
Hmm.
for many years, many decades, and someone asks us to change it, it won't happen overnight. It will take time.
Right.
We have to keep working with them. We have to be standing with them. We have to be holding their hands. We have to be
Right.
ensuring that the kind of fears that they have of using any digital tool, those issues are addressed. They know that there are people who they can reach out to who are going to solve or who are going to address if there are any issues which are coming up.
Yeah. So that
So
we can say like trust is an important factor here.
trust is the whole thing. We have to keep working, earning their trust. Let me put it
Yeah.
that.
Right. Yeah.
That's what the journey of any company that's get into bringing something new,
Hmm.
which is not a routine for the farmer,
Hmm.
and you have to see that the farmer shifts and adopts on something new. So that's the journey we are on to.
Yeah. So, was there a particular moment or milestone that made you feel, yes, we are truly creating an impact? And what is one proud moment that validate all your hard work?
Proud moment, I won't say. You see, we are still on our journey.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yes. But there will be like some moment will be there. Then you think, yeah, yes, I'm in a right path. Those kind of moment, if you can share with us.
I would say that yeah, there have been points where we felt motivated. We felt more motivated. There was some validation of certain things, and there were times where you felt even exhilarated. So I can't deny that, and that is something that we keep searching for. I mean, you want that motivation coming to you. And it should come that positive information that comes from the farmer, especially. So there have been a few in that sense. And largely what we have realized is from the market linkages, side of the value chain, right? Where we have seen that smile, where we have seen that, the farmer wants to stay close to you, wants you, he's calling you. I mean, let me put it in a very simple way, that you get farmers calling you,
Mm-hmm.
You get the FPOs calling you when you are in the market linkages
Yeah.
domain of
Yeah.
value chain. You know, but that's perhaps is the wedge. That's where they also start understanding that how the rest of the value chain can also be positively impacted by what we are bringing for them.
Yes.
Let me also say that on the other side of it,
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
when we are bringing for the food consumers, and here I will take an example. I won't give you the name of the institutional buyer, but when the institutional buyer found out that we are able to provide them authentic, traceable, right, produce, certified, right, traceability is the key out there, right from that which kind of a soil the produce was cultivated, what kind of a sort of a growth at different stages of cultivation, if there was any disease load, and if the disease load was there, then how it was overcome, when was it harvested, where was it kept, when was it packaged, how it was transported to the institutional buyer. If you provide that kind of a traceability, the kind of premium that we can charge, is interesting. And the kind of premium that perhaps our institutional buyers are able to get from their end customers, right? Which in many cases are they export it out. So that again, revalidation and in a way motivating us that this entire supply chain, co-creating this supply chain by partnering with the farmers and with the farmer producers organizations and the companies, and where you can provide the authenticity, you can provide the traceability. And let me add sustainability, you know, where what kind of sustainable, systems which have been used throughout
Hmm.
the supply chain, that makes a lot of difference,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And those points have been revalidated for us. So let me say that also that again has been a big motivational aspect for us. Yeah.
So, building a successful startup required not just innovation but also the right ecosystem. So,
Mhm.
how did your association with Managed CIA help shape an agri-eco's journey? And what kind of mentorship, exposure, or network support did Managed CIA provided that help you, scale your impact? And how has that incubation experience influenced your business model, product design, or strategic partnership?
So look, Manage is a great institute. I mean, our experience has been simply super, right? And first of all, I must point out, the leadership of Dr. Servan and the extent he gets engaged with the startups in terms of understanding what we are trying to do, in terms of getting the networks, for us to get into, right? For us to find out different options that we can explore in
Yeah.
terms of finding the right solutions or right answers for the challenges of our customers. Of the another aspect that I would highlight is that look, from our cohort, we were able to get at least three of the partners who are with us.
Mm-hmm.
And what we realized that for us to address the key challenges, out there in the agri-food ecosystem, AgrEco alone can't do it. Obviously, can't. We need to be working in partnership, and I call it as extended enterprise. We must have an extended enterprise, including our farmers and the FPCs, and that's where we have been able to find three other startups in the same cohort who are on board with us as our extended enterprise.
Yeah, you will
So,
get the good networking will be there. Right.
absolutely. Yeah. So those are the things that I would highlight. In addition, if you are stuck somewhere, we can just call them. We can take their help. They lead us to the right people, right organizations. So those have been extremely helpful.
Yeah. So as you look ahead, where do you see Agarico in next 5 to 10 years?
What we see is that we are onto this journey,
Yeah.
and we are marching on. We would stay on course. We would keep learning. We would keep correcting our directions. But our objective is pretty clear: what we need to do, where we need to reach. We are not in hurry. We want to go there. We want to go there doing the right things in the right way for the right reasons, and that's what we will be doing.
That's good to hear, sir. So what message would you share with young entrepreneurs entering the agri-tech space, and what mindset do they need to thrive?
So if you are moving into the agri space, or particularly if you are getting into the agri space or agri food space, have a loads and loads of patience. Number two, believe in yourself. That's absolutely essential, right? Third, be ready to work very hard. Things will happen only if you are working very hard, right? Be ready also to course correct. You would have to do that, right? Understand the emerging technologies and how they are going to impact, you know, the
Yeah.
agri-food supply chains, agri-food industry, right? Data is critical. New emerging field of artificial intelligence and machine language would be most critical in finding solution for agri-food sector.
Yeah, for farmer who may be hesitant about embracing digital tools, so what would you say to them today?
You won't say, you will show.
Yeah.
And you would be with the farmer, you know,
Yeah.
and helping him or her, showing, how things can be done and how it's going to really, you got to show it, and you got to show the outcome of, doing things differently. And perhaps the is element addressing these challenges, it doesn't remain farmer alone.
Mm-hmm.
The village in which the farmer is, really get those elements also, a sort of a portfolio. So these are different dimensions of finding the right solutions, which
Right, right.
would, again, I would go back, which would be sustainable, right?
Hmm. So, and finally, and on a personal note, what keeps you motivated to continue building AgrEco every single day?
We call this small and marginal farmer Nanuram,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
He's 45 years old. I mean, it's a fictional figure, it's at 45 years old, married, two kids. And we just see every day we have to think about Nanuram and then his wife Fulmatijis. You know, what are we doing which is going to make that minuscule difference in the life of Nanu Ramji and Fulmatijis
Mm-hmm.
and their family? And that keeps us motivated enough to keep doing on everyday basis that little bit more, that 1.1% more, that 0.5% more, that 1% more to really get there. So that keeps us going.
Yeah. So we are in the end of this episode, sir. Anything else you want to share, you can add. Feel free to share with us.
Well, now, first of all, I mean, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. And
Yeah.
we are here. We are moving. I mean, if you are in agriculture, if you are in agri-food sector, I mean, I welcome you to connect with us. If you are getting into startup, you want to discuss it with someone, we are available. If you already have a company and you would want to partner with us, you would want to get into our extended enterprise to really address the challenges of Nanuram, Fulmatijis, and also on the other side of it, the person who's going to consume it. That person is well informed about the food that he's consuming, knows where it has come from, how it has been cultivated, whether it's organic, non-organic, whatever it is, then you're welcome.
So thank you for sharing your story and journey with us. So Agarico is not just a startup, it's a movement providing that technology and sustainability can grow together. And also to our listener, if you are inspired by Agarico's story, remember that every step toward digital and sustainable farming bring us closer to a more resilient food system. So this is Sonam and you have been watching the Manage CIA podcast. Until next time, stay inspired and stay motivated. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for
Thank
joining.
you so much. Thank you.